Dear YouTube, yesterday was so amazing. I used such a wonderful add-on. It's so amazing and strong and so useful. I've been thinking about it all day and I think it's overlooked. It's the only one for me. I just know it. And I know just how to use it. Look at that value, that amazing synergy. It will be meta by the end of the video. I just know it. I told my chat that I need help with head on, but once I see leave, I'll use it. And once I use it, then it will be on my loadout forever.
Chicas Bib is an add-on that when many first saw it, and even now, is often overlooked. The biggest reason for this is that it requires you to miss. Foxy's Hook took the spotlight more, and Vigil exists.
Whoa, I think I just figured something out, Beavis. What? This sucks. Yeah, it really sucks.
And the effect really only seemed to be good to counter head-on. However, after using it for a bit, I have to say that we were all a bit wrong about it, as it has quickly ended up in my rotation of add-ons when I play Springtrap, to the point to where it's probably one of my favorite add-ons on him now. So what does it do exactly? Whenever a survivor is in the area of a missed axe, they are inflicted with the exhaustion status effect for 5 seconds. It then lingers for 5 seconds once they leave the area of the axe. So basically they get hit with the axe, they're in the bubble, and once they leave the bubble, the effect lingers for 5 seconds. So if you don't land a hit, anyone who goes outside of the bubble gets exhaustion for a bit. I want to switch things up before I go into how to use it by highlighting all the exhaustion perks and if this add-on is effective at stopping them. Sprint Burst, not really, and honestly with the exception of Mindbreaker or Fearmonger or whatever you want to call it, nothing can really stop Sprint Burst. But I will get more into that once we get into the perk combos. Lithe, if you know someone has Lithe, in many situations throwing the axe near them to exhaust them can stop any plans they had of making it to a new loop, even if they were to get hit. This right here will be an example of using it. So I know the Nick has Lithe because I saw him use it earlier in the match, and I know Hatch is on my left, so I know if he takes the window, then he's going to be able to run straight to Hatch. There's not really much I can do to stop him, but because I knew he had it, I, instead of taking the free hit from the axe, giving him the Lithe and the normal speed boost, I just throw it at my feet, get him exhausted, so once he goes through the window for the vault, he doesn't get his Lithe proc. Bounce Landing. Similar to Lithe, if a survivor is taking you to a high drop location, it might be best to throw the axe near them to stop any balanced landing plans. Dramaturgy. Similar to Sprint Burst, this is often used at the start of a chase rather than during it, and it's hard to predict its use. And it would be better to try and land the axe than to get bib value, as them being injured means they also can't use Dramaturgy. Head On. The perk that was seen as the main add-on's thing to counter, if someone hops into a locker, not only does this stop the head-on, but you also get KI to tell you if they were in the locker in the first place. Oh, you're in the locker. Hello. Value! So it can be used very well in situations like that. Overcome. If you know you can land an M1 and know this perk is in play, it's best to miss and then go for the M1, stopping the extra distance, as genetic limits, another perk I'll talk about later, doesn't take priority over this perk and they still get the distance from it. Background player. Much like Sprint Burst, there is no real way to stop this from being in play, even with other perks other than Langland in some situations, but even then it's usually on cooldown. Dead Hard. Honestly, a perk that has been brought more as time goes on, and one that Springtrap can struggle against with the telegraphed attack that he has, and with it being able to stop grab attacks as well. But missing an axe with bib means it's no longer a factor for you to bother with. Iron Will. Not really a big deal, but yes, this will stop, and it can stop it and make tracking much easier if need be. Smash Hit. Which is becoming more common for some reason. I'm not fully sure why, but it's becoming much more common. And while yes, you can stop this from being stunned, it's often still a punishment, and Springtrap will be better off to just hit the X during the locked animation. While some are rarely affected by bib, the more common ones are, with one exception. Sprint Burst is extremely common and doesn't really have a way to be countered, but a perk that can help with the combo and combos well with Springtrap in general is Mindbreaker, as it can help you deal with it, and bib can help reset the timer so the survivor can't just walk to stop the timer. On top of that, Mindbreaker is very good on Springtrap because the blindness status effect for some reason makes it so he can't be revealed when he's in a cam. We don't know why this is, and part of me thinks it's a bug, but we'll see. Before the perk combos, let's just talk about the add-on on its own and the effect, while situational, is a situation that is common enough to be useful in most matches, while the issues of you not really knowing until later in the match, or even during the in-game recap, when you can see what it was that the survivors brought. However, I like to think it is more of an insurance than anything else, and something I would rather have than not, unlike other add-ons. But Bib does something else I love in any power design in any games. It gives you options, choices that can show situational awareness. And similar to Foxy's hook, it adds a different dimension to the axe, making it a choice, not just something that happens, but also means missing in general isn't always the worst thing to happen and can still punish the survivor for not being hit. In a chase, throwing the axe down to deny a life or even a last-second dead hard can be the difference in not only that chase going faster, but in turn winning the match. There have been many matches you probably lost in your head because an exhaustion perk went off, from dead hard to balance landing to even life, because the survivor was able to get extra distance from it, thus making the chase last longer, even if it was only a couple seconds. That could be the difference between a gen popping and a gen not popping. So about combos, first thought might be to stack it with other exhaustion perks. And while not the worst idea, I don't recommend this, as the game is too fast and I have at least one slowdown in your perks. But some it does combo with better are Mindbreaker. This perk can help with Sprint Burst, as stated before, and in general, gives some leeway to other perks that even it can't counter. Genetic limits. Other than Overcome, genetic can be a real insurance policy, as hit or miss, the survivor is exhausted. Did they dodge? Or did you miss?
Bennett, I swear to God.
Stopping life and dead hard, and if they are running Vigil, resetting the timer, as genetic limits is 8 seconds on top of the 5 from Chicas Bib. Overwhelming Presence. This perk was recently reworked, and while it's too soon to see its full usefulness, the idea of getting aura reading on an axe miss is not one that should be overlooked. Overwhelming Presence is also really not recommended in my opinion, as if you know where they are in the chase, plus you get the KI, but it can be useful, and if you combo it with something like Languid along with Chicas Bib, the information is always there. Restaurant Menu is a very good combo, and one of Springtrap's best add-ons, honestly, to the point where I think half of it should be base kit. But it gives you less time between axe throws, and if done correctly, makes even Vigil almost useless in countering it, as the timer starts once they leave the bubble, and it takes about a second, plus the 5 seconds it's active. The other one is Party Hat, as the bigger AoE can make an unavoidable debuff, as well as making it last longer, as the bubble takes longer to leave. But honestly, it works well enough on its own. You can run it with mostly any add-on to either help you with when you do land an axe, such as Celebrate Poster, or Curtain, or even something like Faz Coin, or something like Bonnie's, just to complete the entire kit and make it so going through doors is also helps. Is this add-on a super OP gem, like I said in the intro? Probably not, but it's one that I think people should give another shot. Similar to Poster, I think it was overlooked because other things were just better, which is part of the reason I think Bonnie's needed to be nerfed, because it was so good, the other add-ons were seeing virtually no use, even though they're just fine. But I will say Bib is one of those add-ons, similar to a couple others, that is just like, there's so many matches where I'm like, man, I wish I had Bib right now. I do this often with Foxy's Hook, as well as Faz Coin, and even, to a degree, Bonnie's Guitar Strings. It's an add-on that, again, completes his kit and gives him some usefulness in certain situations. I highly, highly, highly recommend giving it a try if you haven't. And remember that your objective isn't necessarily to miss unless you feel they have an exhaustion perk. As always, tell me what you guys think. I do read all of the comments, as much as I do disagree with some of them, but just keep it civil. Have a good one. And before we head out, I do want to give a shout out to my lovely, lovely, lovely guest who did the intro for this video. The voice of High School Chico was provided by Lunio VTuber, whose links will be down below, as well as some of the stuff posted here. She did an amazing job. I'm working on a way to get her back on because she did such a good job, but we'll see. But I love y'all as always. Make sure to give them some love if you can over on the Twitch and on the Twitters and X and all that stuff. But I'll see y'all in the next video. Have a good one, and yeah, bye.
Subscribe, damn it. I'll be back. I always come back, and so should you, you moron.